Good evening and welcome to Camnet TV Main News. I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. The headlines. Water blues hits Kasempa constituency. Judicial Complaints Commission recommends for Magistrate David Simusamba's removal from handling court cases. Lusaka man deserts wife after giving birth to triplets. In international news, record high COVID-19 cases recorded. And in sports, Zanaco signed Congolese defender Lukong Mbuyamba. Details coming through after this. Msika is here. We have you all covered with just 150 kwacha. You can advertise every day from 17 hours to 18 hours. For a 30-second ad, get the benefit of selling your products and services on Msika. For more details, call our marketing department on +260 953 995099 +260 962 444-726 or +260 971 177-467. Email us on info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you a filmmaker? Well, you are exactly what we are looking for.
Camnet TV is calling on local filmmakers. For more details,
you can visit our headquarters in Ibex Hill next to Hilltop Hospital.
Contact us on
0962 444 726. Camnet TV.
Not just another channel. And now the news in detail. Police in Lusaka have picked up a body of an unidentified male Zambian aged between 25 and 30 years in Ngwenya Dam. The body was picked up on Monday afternoon. The body was discovered floating in the dam by local people.
For some years now, residents of Lusaka's Mrs. Compound have complained about the lack of security at Ngwenya Dam as many people have continued dying. In the early hours of today, residents of the same area discovered a body of an unidentified man in a decomposed state. The body was found floating in the same dam. The unidentified man is said to be aged between 25 to 30 years old, according to the police. Police who later rushed to the scene have picked up the body and buried it at New Leopards Hill Cemetery. However, some residents have continued dumping solid waste in the dam, posing a serious health challenge to the people living near the dam. It is therefore hoped that the relevant authority take action before many lives are lost. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News in Lusaka.
Water is life, so they say, but this important commodity seems to be a scarcity, one among the people of Kasempa district of Northwestern Province, as people wake up as early as 04 hours in search of it. As a mitigation measure, government has drilled 15 boreholes in the 3 wards of Kasempa and have since been handed over by former Kasempa Member of Parliament Kabinga Mpande.
Challenges seem to affect several places in the country. In Kasempa district, the situation is not different, as most parts of the constituency are affected by lack of water. Queues form up at water points as early as 04 hours in search of the commodity. In July this year, the ruling Patriotic Front PF drilled several boreholes in 3 wards, namely Lubofu, Mpungu, and Inyoka wards. In Lubofu, government drilled 9, while in Inyoka 5 boreholes were drilled and 1 in Mpungu ward, bringing the total number to 15 boreholes drilled in just a month. The residents are grateful, but still calls for more boreholes on account that families are many to cater for 1 borehole in a particular location. Former Kasempa Member of Parliament Kabinga Mpande has commissioned the boreholes.
President akwekona kuya barongo bami bajanki mpunje yo twitamba janki bayanda na mema pama wale shimonka batumina amafoni ko kwamba twayanda panongu ba president we byepimba po kabijobe yo wambaka jowe wiba mona barongo we bayanda batwagira iboho yo yiye ya Ajinangu chikare byobyo byona mona acha chamwesha kuba nanguruke mwashinka chamwesha kubamba yake pa kujikonjesho kekukebwe wanzambia kekukebwe ikwabo boho kabijimbeno kuwera kui president wami wabura bukoro namba president akaya boho kuwena kuyura wena kukikuya kepa kabijoto afana kuyuka kekike monka moba kwimu bujira ayeke mingiro yaba MP ne ba kansera bo baringire kubake batelepa numoke rusaba ko namba ine kajimwe barongo baminanguke ne MP ne kene kansera ne nafwe na kuba bepi je nkarombere ba
Kalan Muchima reporting for Camnet News, Kasempa.
Meanwhile, the ruling Patriotic Front PF has held celebratory meetings in Luofu and Nyoka wards following the party's victories in the July 30th ward by-elections. The party threw parties across 2 wards.
Victory comes with some form of celebration. It is for this reason that the Patriotic Front PF has continued to celebrate its victories in the Luofu and Nyoka wards of Kasempa constituency in the July 30th ward by-elections. The party has held celebratory meetings across the 2 wards. Chickens, cows, goats and pigs have been slaughtered to toast the triumph. While the mothers prepare the meals, papas and mamas, including the young, indulge in some dances encouraged by the nice aroma coming from the big pots. It's an opportunity which comes once in a lifetime. Kasempa Member of Parliament Kavinga Pandey leads the celebrations. Kalan Muchima reporting.
Still in Kasempa, government through the Ministry of Higher Education says government is investing heavily in the information and communications technology ICT sector to equip learners with necessary knowledge in the fast-moving world. Speaking in Kasempa on Monday, Ministry of Higher Education Permanent Secretary Siame Kayula said Zambia should start producing its own scientists and engineers to take up engineering works in the country. Ms. Kayula explains that early introduction of pupils to science and technology will greatly benefit the nation in future as the country continues to import engineering-related labor from other countries. Ms. Kayula has since visited Kasempa Day Secondary School, where a modern science lab for the entire district is being constructed.
First of all, I'll be visiting Kasempa Day School, which is our center of excellence, which we are through the National Science Council, providing funds for the infrastructure and also for the development of that day secondary school into a center of excellence. As you know, one of our key objectives as the Ministry of Higher Education is to ensure that we have access to education, but also to ensure that we also have a specific emphasis on the science, technology, engineering, mathematics. So through this science, through this day school, Kasempa, we want to ensure that at least we will have some students from Northwestern Province that can also participate and be given this, the requisite knowledge that they require to help them become scientists, engineers, and so on in the field of science. I think that is something, as you know, as a country, we really have to do a lot on in terms of science and technology to ensure that we can develop our country much, much faster. So we have to ensure we started from the secondary school, so by the time the students do reach university level, they are able and they are comfortable and they know exactly what they want to do. So that is the purpose of our visit, at least to Kasempa. And then since I was in the province, I also will take an opportunity to visit Mulilunga Trade Institute as well as Solwezi Trade Institute. As you know, these are our TVET institutions, and we want to just assess how they've been doing so far, especially on the e-learning. And now that they'll be opening on 28th of September, we also just want to encourage them and ensure that they put things in place. Although we are opening we have been requested that there must be strict adherence to all the guidelines in terms of COVID-19. So we just want to encourage them and see how ready they are, and also see how we can assure that they do become ready for those that will be returning when they open up.
In other news, a man of Lusaka's Kanyama compound has deserted his wife of 7 years after the woman gave birth to triplets. The woman, a 25-year-old mother who has refused to disclose the name of her husband, says all was well until triplets were born. Ezelia Chitambo explains that the man was failing to provide for the children, hence his reasons of deserting them. She says her husband used to complain that he was unable to fend for the family and later just decided to vanish in the air. The couple has 5 children in between them.
Panina papa wana matriplets in December, but 12 amnanga ni mwana ntabira sinzo kwa mini waliji. Survive pali abana nivutika nyumba ni yali ndio nkana batete banga mayanga nafa kudana mu 2012. So nipemba kushira ntwalonsa mina nimvire kwa zintanzira ko safu ya madaipa y'abana na nyumba neti nkala mu yali ndi kulipira nkovutikira vutikira. So nipemba kushira mtalonsa na nimvire kwa ntandizeko pa bana. Kuti mpeze chakudya chabama ni mashitendo washira kuti mpeze ko ya porridge. Liba na ntandizirako.
Together we can fight such scourge where men impregnate women, then just disappear in thin air. Well, Zambia being a Christian nation, we don't tolerate that. We want such people to be visited by the law so that they can learn how to become good citizens, unlike what is happening on the ground.
You're watching Camnet TV Main News. We take our first set of commercials. We'll be back with more news after this. I have used Oracle Pure Glycerin for 2 years now. It has really worked for me. It has cleared all the black spots on my face. It has restored my skin beauty. It also smoothens the skin. Try Oracle Pure Glycerin for perfect skin. If it's not Oracle Glycerin, then it's not Pure Glycerin.
Stay home, stay safe. Times have changed. With the advent of the coronavirus, Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company would like to advise its esteemed customers to avoid visiting crowded places. You don't have to move to pay your water bill. You can do it in the convenience of your home. You can pay your water bills through Zanaco Zapit, Stanbic Bank, Standard Chartered Bank, and FNB. You can also use Airtel, MTN, and Zamtel Kwacha mobile money transfer services. For any inquiries to report a fault, please contact our customer service on +260 211 251 571 plus 260 975 618 618 and toll-free line 5957, Zamtel only. You can also simply email customerservice@lwsc.com. This public announcement is brought to you by the Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company. Water is life. Sanitation is health.
Welcome back. We'll continue with Camnet TV main news. Zambia has in the last 24 hours recorded 8 COVID-19 deaths. The country has also recorded 181 new cases out of 1,608 tests done and 120 recoveries. Minister of Health Permanent Secretary Technical Services, Dr. Kenneth Malama, says the cumulative number of cases had increased to 13,720 out of 132,642 tests, 12,380 recoveries and 320 deaths. More in the following report.
In the last 24 hours, Zambia recorded a total of 181 new COVID-19 cases, and these were from 18 districts, including Lusaka 50, Ndora 48, Kitwe 21, Chirawombwe 17, Mufrila 9, Kabwe 8, Kasama 6, Chingola 5, Kalomo 3, Solwezi 3, Karurush 2, Mansa 2, Mufrila 1, Chipata 1, Livingstone 1, Luwingu 1, Nakonde 1, and Serenje 1. This again goes to demonstrate or to show that the virus is in our communities. The virus continues moving as people interact and move. And our surveillance will continue to be upped so that we can pick those new cases and ensure that there is self-isolation or isolation in a designated facility so that we curtail that transmission trajectory. These new cases are among the 1,608 tests we conducted in the last 24 hours. Presents a positivity of 11.3%. The cumulative number of cases in the country, therefore, stands at 13,720. And of those, 36 were from Lusaka, 19 Ndola, 12 Chirawombwe, 9 Mufurira, 8 Kitwe, 6 Kasama, 3 Solwezi, 1 Kabwe, and 1 Luwingu. So these are the ones we picked when we did the screening in the hospital settings. You can see 95. So again, this.
In other news, 3 Ugandan nationals who were charged with an offense of stealing 6 million kwacha have pleaded not guilty to the charge. The 3 foreign nationals are accused of having stolen the money from Atlas Mara Bank by installing a software on the bank database without lawful authority. The 3, namely Vincent Mpinji, Sylvester Apuli, Makosa Ndolo, all Ugandans, are jointly charged with Patrick Kafula with unauthorized access to a critical database, unlawful possession of devices, and conspiracy to defraud. The trio, who appeared before Chief Resident Magistrate Lamek Mwale, pleaded not guilty to all the 3 counts. It is alleged that the trio, jointly and Wallace acting together, did possess 2 key USB loggers, 1 USB flash disk, and 1 laptop containing software primarily designed to overcome security measures for protection of data on the Atlas Mara Bank Limited's banking system. The trio are expected to appear in court on Friday. The Judicial Complaints Commission (JCC) has recommended the removal of controversial Lusaka magistrate David Musamba from presiding as a judicial officer. This follows various complaints against the conduct of Magistrate Musamba, the latest being the case of National Democratic Congress leader Chishimba Kambwili, where he reported him to the Anti-Corruption Commission (SEC) before asking the Chief Justice to compel him to recuse himself from handling the case. In December 2019, Kambwili wrote to Chief Justice Irene Mambilima, where he lodged a complaint over the manner in which Magistrate Musamba was handling the matter where he is accused of altering false documents and giving false information to a public officer. Kambwili had complained that the magistrate's attitude towards him and his lawyers were inimical, adding that the same magistrate had asked him for a bribe in exchange for an acquittal. The JCC has, however, acted in respect of complaints filed by MMD President Dr. Nevis Mumba 2 years ago over the manner in which the magistrate behaved in a case where he was accused of criminal trespass at ZMBC. This is contained in a statement issued by JCC Secretary Naisa Makeleta. Meanwhile, Southern Africa Network Against Corruption has welcomed the recommendation to remove Magistrate David Simusamba as a judicial officer by the Judicial Complaints Commission. Network Executive Director Gregory Chifaya says the move is long overdue and should be used as a reflection point by other judicial officers. Mr. Chifaya says this action by the JCC is a serious indictment on her leadership, the Chief Justice, who has on several occasions been called to put her house in order, but to no response. He says it's unfortunate that several complaints against Magistrate Simusamba have been raised in the past by eminent persons who include opposition UPND President Hakainde Hichilema, Socialist Party leader Fred Membe, and recently Dr. Chishimba Kambwili, but nothing was being done to him. Mr. Chifaya further says there is no better time than this to call for serious judicial reforms because it is an open secret that most of the men and women charged with the responsibility of dispensing justice are found wanting. He says Zambians need a judiciary that is above reproach. More in the following report.
Happy that finally the Judicial Complaints Commission has acted on the many complaints against Magistrate David Simusamba that have been lodged by members of the public. It is our prayer that this action by the Judicial Complaints Commission will be taken seriously and as reflection by other judicial officers. You see, it's an open secret, and I wish to remind the citizens that there have been a number of complaints that have been made against the said magistrate regarding his conduct that borders on professional misconduct and as well as bribery. Some of these complaints came from Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, President of the UPND, Socialist Party leader Dr. Fred Membe, Dr. Nevis Mumba, and just recently Mr. Chishimba Kambwili, President of the NDC. But what is worrying is that especially in the recent complaint where Dr. Chishimba Kambwili even wrote to the Chief Justice about the solicitation of bribe by Mr. Simusamba, the Chief Justice has done nothing to date. And I think this action by the
You're still watching Camnet TV Main News. In other news, government has commended Plan International Zambia for supplementing its efforts to empower young girls in rural areas where education and skills training in Eastern Province. Speaking when he accompanied Plan International Zambia Eastern Province Regional Manager Richard Kaliati to inspect the progress of the Yes I Do project in Chadiza, Provincial Deputy Permanent Secretary Josephat Lombe said the organization is doing a commendable job of not only helping girls from vulnerable families in rural areas to venture into various ventures, but also get an education. He said government welcomes partnership with various stakeholders aimed at improving the welfare of young girls in rural parts of Eastern Province and the country as a whole. More in the following report.
Government is working with various stakeholders to foster education and skills training among young girls in the country. Plan International Zambia, through the Yes I Do project, targets to alleviate poverty among young girls in rural areas using various forms of empowerment. These are sentiments from the beneficiaries of the SIDO project funded by the government of the Netherlands.
Benagulisa 8.2 upachitu apamba naenda nachoka for 1,125 ogula machiki. After that nachoka mo kuti 2.350 ogula fees. Futi na medicine yali nachoka kuti mkomabati balance.
Nezibalira so zikabalana nezizigulisira pamoja zikachuka kani 5 kagulisa zipeza ndalama za mbili kuti kuskulu kulive vinani tako nikapite ngabwerelesa kuti nkalendele.
Plan International Zambia Eastern Province Regional Manager Richard Kaliata commended government for creating an enabling environment for non-governmental organizations as well as civil society organizations to operate in.
As an organization, we are so glad to the government of the Patriotic Front for the enabling environment that they've accorded to international NGOs as well as civil society organizations to work in a friendly environment to support the girl child so that the girl child can have a future.
Eastern Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Josephat Lombe commended Plan International for supplementing government efforts aimed at improving the livelihoods of young girls in rural areas.
The step which you have taken, that lessen the child marriage by economically empowering the girl child, is in the right direction. His Excellency the President, Dr. Edgar Chagarongo, is happy to create an environment where NGOs like you where partners like you are able to actually implement various activities.
Government prioritizes the empowerment of young girls with education and skills training as a way of curbing early marriages in rural areas. Sylvester Shimba reporting for the news in Chadiza Eastern Province.
We'll take a break. We'll be back with more news after this.
To create a positive difference in people's lives, one must first understand the way people live. At Savenda, we're here for our community, our partners, and our future, as a nation and as a continent.
Back in 1997, we decided we were going to create this family journey into a bigger opportunity, and created a business called Savenda, which meant save nations to develop Africa.
It's always important to give back to the people. The government cannot do everything, but as business entities, we'll be able to reach a lot of people.
From our humble beginnings in the telecoms and mining sectors to our work in energy and development projects, we know how important it is to be true to our roots.
Our services have to be diversified so that we don't depend on one income stream. Back in the village, I was growing up hunting and doing everything that a village boy would like to do. When you're hunting, you don't depend on one trap, for example. You have to have many traps. So those survival skills brought into the business created opportunities that we learned from a young age that you can't survive with just one product. Savenda Group involves Savenda Management, which is a consulting, Savenda Express, which is a corporate branding company, Savenda Electric, which is a manufacturer of energy-saving bulbs, Savenda General Insurance, which is a general insurance company, Savenda Fresh Produce, Cyber Africa, which is a center for just dealing with cyber security.
Now, Savenda is combining local knowledge with international expertise. It's time to be a part of Zambia's rising success and Africa's exciting future.
We are a gateway into Africa, and now we are praying with global companies who are coming to Zambia for opportunities and to look for companies that are homegrown, and we are proud to be one of those.
And now in international news, A record one-day rise in the number of new coronavirus cases around the world has been recorded. The World Health Organization, WHO, says 307,930 confirmed infections were reported over 24 hours. The leader of the UK's Labour Party, Sir Keir Starmer, is self-isolating after a member of his household showed signs of infection. Restrictions banning social gatherings of more than 6 people have come into effect in England and Scotland. Israel has become the first country to announce it will reimpose a second nationwide lockdown after this week. There has been 2,621 new cases of coronavirus recorded across the UK. It marks a fall of more than 600 cases on Sunday's figures when 3,330 positive cases were recorded. However, weekend figures are often lower due to delays in reporting. A further 9 deaths have been recorded since 09 hours on Sunday, bringing the total reported deaths toll across the UK to 41,628. Well, we now get into our sports news. Zambia Super League side sensational Zanaco has confirmed the acquisition of Congolese gold miner Lukong Mbuyamba. The banker confirmed the development in a post on their official website. Lukong has penned a 2-year deal with the 7-time Super League champions. Congolese goalkeeper Lukong Mbuyamba Mutombo has joined sensational Zanaco FC from Eden University National Division 1 champions Indenu FC on a 2-year contract. The 24-year-old signed for the bankers after an impressive performance in the 2019-20 season. He spent several years in the TP Mazembe youth side, TP Mazembe École de Foot, before making a move to Zambia to join Ndola United in 2016, where he was spotted by Indeni in 2017. He will battle it out with Racha Kola, Toaster Sambata, and Mangani Banda for the #1 choice, with young Benson Mwale joining Buildcon on a season-long loan. This story is courtesy of Zamfoot Sports. Well, that sports item brings us to the end of Camnet TV Main News. But before we go, the headlines. Water blues hit Kasempa constituency. Judicial Complaints Commission recommends for Magistrates David Musamba removal from handling court cases. Lusaka man deserts wife after giving birth to triplets. In international news, record high COVID-19 cases recorded. And in sports, Zanaco signed Congolese defender Lukong Mbuyamba. The Camnet word verse of the day is coming from the book of Proverbs 1 verse 22, and it reads, "How long will you who are simple love your simple ways? How long will mockers delight in mockery and fools hate knowledge?" Well, that is all. Thank you for joining me. Remember to always wear your mask, wash your hands, and maintain social distancing. My name is Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Thank you for joining me. Good evening.